Alright, long overdue video. I apologize, but the camera was giving me problems for a long time and it was very discouraging, but I made a quick fix to the camera. But I'll talk more about that at a later time. Another update, I've changed a lot since the time I've been struggling with the camera. A few changes, and I've been running some operations or trying to run some test operations, and I'm pretty happy with everything so far. So compared to the last video, I'm not exactly sure of everything I've changed, but here's Sandy River. Now, I changed all the Kato track to Atlas. Flex track and Atlas, they're like remote turnouts, but I went ahead and took away the remote ability. Let me focus. They have that big, let me set this to manual focus. They have that big thing on the side that apparently uses the cord, and then you throw the switch with the button or whatever. But I just ripped the cord off. I'll have it all be manual anyway. I did take these off before, but then there was no easy way to like make sure the switch would stay thrown in a certain direction, so I actually put them back on, and I'll hide them, put little switch boxes or something. I don't know what's prototypical, but we'll put something on the side. But just a little spur. It's kind of like a small yard. A train will bring stuff here, and there will be a dedicated switcher here. I actually bought some more locomotives, and they'll be here next week. So there will most likely be a switcher that kind of stays right here and does the industries. So a small little, there will be buildings or some kind of industry, local business or something that they deliver to, because it's a very remote town. And I switched out some of the buildings because this is like the older, like one of the old type of towns. Stone church, wood built station. Another small little spur right here, and then room for runarounds or pulling the engine out or something like that. So room for the thing to completely run around. And didn't change much over here except for this part. Now I don't know exactly what I had before, but all the way down there is different. So I had nothing up there last time. There was nothing here, if I believe it. I think it was just all of this wasn't here. I think it was just one of those boards for a really long grade, which actually was kind of steep. So I split that grade into two separate grades over there. And this is now Mustang Creek. So I think I had Mustang Creek as part of like the other expansion over there or something. But this will just be a log flat car pickup drop off. This will all be a tunnel right here, all the way along the edge to about right where the turnout is, right about here. There'll probably be a tunnel entrance because I want to separate these two and these three too. So all three of these tracks need to be separated, either with a very high like cliff wall or this one completely covered with a tunnel, so I only have to worry about the two. But definitely, if I don't do the tunnel all the way from right there, definitely right here will start. So as you can see, I got it right along the edge, and I'll just be building up a little bit and covering it, but leaving the side open so I can still clean the track. So you can still see the train run, but on the layout standpoint, it's technically a tunnel, which will let me build out a little bit more here and fill this out a little bit. Actually have a creek running in the back. I've been using a lot of my spare foam pieces from all my cutouts, and it worked great, especially when you cover it with this like I don't really know what it is. It's like a drywall tape, if that makes sense. I just covered it with that, so it's all smooth and I can run trains and see how it works. I'm pretty happy with it. This will be a tunnel right here as well. This is the White Mountain Range, right? And the only big mountain range we have is like that one right there. So what I want to do is make this even bigger. So I'm going to put this in a tunnel. So the tunnel will go all the way probably to where the turn starts. All of this will be covered because I got some serious S-curves right here that I kind of don't want to, be visible. But the tunnel will probably end here on the second level. So that's Mustang Creek. Oh, was it in focus? I'm probably not. Horrible cameraman. There we go. But I'm trying to do this real quick because it's long overdue. So before it was just the big grade right here that went all the way up that, and that wasn't there. Now we just split that into two separate grades. So there's only one industry here, logging, and most of the time the operations don't even have those cars here. So if delivering to Midland up here, which is like going to be kind of like a quarry type gravel thing, I don't know if there's going to be other stuff up here, but definitely gravel. And here's some of those train cars that I put out in a previous video with the little foam loads. I think they look wonderful. But very small, specialized industry. Pretty sure it's going to be a gravel thing. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense up in the mountains. But they can get up there via the turnaround. Oh, focus. There we go. They can get there via the turnaround and then pull what they're taking back up. So only certain locomotives will be able to pull up here in very small loads. You know, it'll require a caboose and stuff like that. This hasn't changed. I think what we had last time was a siding with like a double crossover. I don't know exactly what we had. I'll have to watch the video, but this is the same. Bakers Meadow is no longer over here. I've moved it way over there to the other expansion, and I'm a lot happier with it. Let me scratch my nose. All right. So this, I'm using the remainder of my flex track. I got a few pieces left, and I've changed the yard, but I'll show you in a minute. I want this to be a kind of a siding extra yard lead. I don't know what you call it, but there's so much traffic that runs north, and this is all north. Everything that is, you know, to that side of the yard is north, even though it wraps around. There's so much traffic in my operations that go north that I need a dedicated track for arrival departure just for the stuff that comes off the layout, which is still over there on the other side of the computer. That's the hands area. I actually put all the cars on there, and then the trains go out, right? So that's the only time I actually touch the cars myself. But that is going so frequently that we need a separate track, which is connected to the yard lead. It'll be connected right here, so I need to shave out this mountain, which we've done some of that work already. I finally got one of them foam tools. Very, very handy, very awesome, very affordable. I thought it was going to cost more. But you can see we've been doing some shaping. My daughter and wife have done that hill right there. I'm pretty happy with it. But I need to shave this out because I can't move this track anymore, and it's already really close to the edge. So I'm going to shave this out a lot, maybe bring it down so it looks more natural, and connect a track from a turnout probably over there so there's length. And I'll connect it to the yard lead right here, which goes to the new and improved yard. So this yard is built out of Kato track, which is all powered, because I had to power it because I'm using the Atlas turnouts. So a lot smaller, so I can have some other stuff, really low one-story buildings over here to help fill in all this empty stuff instead of big city things, because the yard master sits right here and can reach everything right here, but I need a lot of low buildings right here, and I needed more space, so this worked out perfectly. And I got a little rip track back there. So the only thing that changed right here is the yard. I got all of the roundhouse track powered. That was a real pain, probably because I did things backwards. I shouldn't have built the walls before I tried to put the track in there and everything, because it was a real pain in the butt to try to get that in there. But I soldered all that up. Runs really good. Fixed my turnout. My turntable. It was kind of broken. Apparently, these things get a lot of dust and particulates, and since this is like an old spray painted table, every time I touch it, it'd get a little flakes and it would get under there. And eventually the contacts were so dirty they weren't actually working. So that was a challenge to clean. Still got this track, just kind of playing with the idea for the expansion that goes into the other wall. I think I talked about that last time, but not sure if I'm going to have it. I don't think I need the expansion. It'll be like maybe 2 years from now. But yeah, I want dedicated line connected to the yard lead, so the train incoming, if the main is full or if the yard lead is full, he can pull in, and this first classification track right here, or interchange, he can pull his entire train in here and immediately turn to the turnout and turn around and come back around and pull something else that we have made. So that is pretty much just for the one train that comes out of there, right there. The one from Main Central that brings everything off the layout. So that right there is off the layout. And I think I have that scheduled to go maybe 4 or 6 times through a planned session. So there's a lot of traffic coming from that spot right there. And it can even turn around, pull another train, and immediately leave directly from the yard. So I kind of wanted that option. Having to go back and forth and all this for things that were constantly coming and going was a little bit of a pain. This little interchange thing is mainly for all the locals and the southbound tracks right there. So I kind of played around with the idea already. Haven't actually run it, but I'm just gonna commit to it and, you know, add extra siding so I can pull in directly to the yard. So let me go around. I'll show you what I did with Bakers Meadow, which was right here. I'm really excited. Been doing a lot of work, and I would have been putting out the video a little bit more often, but like I said, this camera, I don't want to use my other camera because it can't output 1080, and I like give as best details I can. So this is solid. This is not going to change. I think this is how it was last time. Apex mining, all of this is glued down, all of it's powered. It runs beautifully. Almost 80% of my track is all glued down. So I've been doing a lot of work over here. That's all the same when it comes down. So what we did is we did have an off layout kind of track, but there wasn't enough room to hide it like I did over there at Maine with the whole mountain on top. So we're just going to say this is just some remote town that we delivered. Okay, apparently I fat fingered the record button, so it cut me off there for a second. I don't know exactly where I left off, but that's all the same. The Y is the same. That hasn't changed. It's all powered. Everything's glued down nicely, except all the flex track. I still have these tiny little nails. They're hard to see, but I just have it nailed directly into the foam to see if it works. I'm pretty happy with it, so I am going to glue it down. But I added this whole section right here. So this was a lot of the turnouts from the yard and Bakers Meadow. So I have farmer supply stuff right here. So there's different tracks. And these little open pit tracks, I'll actually convert these into like unload tracks. Because I believe from some of my reading and research, the car would pull up and it wouldn't need to be elevator or anything. Underneath was a conveyor and like hopper system. So the car would pull on top, these hopper cars. It would dump everything it needed to into it, and then conveyors and augers would push it to the silos or whatever. So that's kind of what we're going with that right there. This, I'm just going to cover that. This is all going to be like an asphalt, not an asphalt, but like a concrete. So I used what I had left of this open pit track because I tried to use every single thing I had. The very edges of a town, and this is where it will stage some of the passenger trains because I had nowhere for the passenger train to sit. It was kind of just coming and going through the layout. It had nowhere to go, so the passenger train will actually go here because this entire table will be buildings, towns, hillsides, a town that kind of grew in a valley or like a shallow gorge type of thing. So that'll probably be the biggest part of the town. The rest will be little industry things and trail out to like suburbs, and then it goes on its way up back up. But I added a dedicated long turnaround. This is about as long as my passenger train. I needed something to sit all the cars so I can run the passenger locomotive around and switch one of the cars around at the end and push the rest into that staging area for the passenger right there. So this all works. I'm pretty happy with it. It's all powered. I got my my temporary little reverse polarity switchers here. They'll be automated later, but I just put the switch there for now because you have to know it works, right? And let's go look at Copeland. So Copeland has a turnaround as well. I don't know if this was in here last time, but I got the same kind of switch underneath the table and just 2 tracks here, distribution place, and this will be a little yard office for like where the timber comes, and a few other box cars. City contractors is what this is going to be, so kind of like a big contractor unloading area, stores a bunch of building materials, you know, they build whatever. And that's the layout. So I'm actually going to finish this up. Pretty happy with it. I don't think it's going to change any more other than the extra siding thing over here. Let's walk back over here because the next video after this one will be me working on this right here. So I'll put this out as quick as possible. Well, I mean, I don't need to say that. You're already going to see it, you know. But the next video, I mean, I'll put it out as quick as possible, which is shaping this because I really need to shape it and get this extra turnout connected to the yard lead for easier access for the dedicated main train that's going back and forth. So that was the layout update. We got 2 trains coming. When those come in, we'll probably run some operations with those 2 new trains. Just another E unit, or no, another F unit, and a yard switcher. Bachmans. I love Bachmans. They're great products. Not the old stuff. The recent stuff is fantastic. So I'm the guy, and I'll see you next time.